if we go a little bit back where it kind of all started, then it started back in December month, where I was working for a company and I absolutely hated it. The colleagues was perfect, like the guys that I was working with was such a nice team, but the leaders and the whole company was just the worst. I hated it, and it took away often between 40 and 60 hours a week when I was working, and it was just not worth it at all. So I just knew that if I had to do something, I had to change. I had to change something, and it had to be drastic. Because if I didn't take any chances, nothing would be happening. I would still be stuck in the same, and I was not happy. I was not happy at all, and I had to think about me being 37. Life really goes on, and I constantly see these young people in the 20s already know what they're doing and living off on a completely another way than what I do. Had a whole other freedom than I could even imagine, especially when working online. They could work from wherever, they could travel and still grow up their business. So I knew that something had to happen. And the first step that I kind of took was just to figure out where I want to live, and I started looking into videos and find all these people that was living in the northern part of Sweden, and I started to kind of follow them on YouTube and saw the whole aspect of life up in the northern part of Sweden in a nature that was not even close to as what we had back in Denmark. So I was just keen on saying like, okay, this is just gonna be what I do for now. I'm gonna move up here, and I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna jump into deep waters, and that was kind of what I did. So I came up with the conclusion of selling almost all my belongings, sell my house, and just move up here. But when you do something like that, well, looking back, I quit my job without having any backup plan at all. And the same I did with my house, and again sold all my belongings almost, except from the things that actually matters. And now I'm here. I've been living here for the last soon to be 9 months now, trying to figure out life, and it's really been difficult in so many other ways than I thought, but was giving up everything back in Denmark without having a slightest plan of what's going on up here. Was that a good idea or was it a bad idea? And when you constantly look at your account because you don't have an income, you only see red numbers, and giving it from a person that's always been paying all my bills and my mortgage and I've never been poor. I had a good earning when I was working. To suddenly have nothing and seeing nothing comes in, it's really, really stressful. Especially because I don't know what path I'm gonna take. I don't know in what direction I'm gonna go, other than I wanna be building up my own. But when you live up here, you isolate yourself completely away from everything else because you don't have your closest friends. You don't have your family here. You are really isolated from the rest of the world. Also because I still live in the countryside and I don't have any bigger cities nearby. I have like one bigger, like half an hour drive from here, but that also means that I need to have a car to even do groceries. So you have some expenses that has to be paid, and over time, just looking at your bank account, seeing that everything just goes into like not minus, but everything goes into red numbers all the time. It's starting to stress me out, and just thinking, was it a bad idea to do it on the like the way that I did? I don't think so, no, because I did what I thought was the right thing to do back in December month, and at that time I felt that was the best idea, to just jump into it and just see what happens. At the moment I'm trying to see if I can find some sort of part-time job, something, so I still have time to build up my own on the same side of having some sort of income. But it's not easy, especially not when you are not perfect in the language. I speak Danish, so Danish and Swedish is almost the same. I do understand the language, but I don't speak it very well. So it's very difficult to find a job up here where they want to hire you, because you can't do any customer service at all, other than, of course, you can always. I understand it, so it's easy enough for me, but the company's way of looking at things is a bit different. And with my skill set up here, it should be easy to get a job, but I'm not interested in going full time again. That was not my plan. My plan was to get up here, and both in search of simplicity and a more simple life, it was also about to be more connected to myself and figure out what I actually love to do and what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Maybe not for the rest, because I know that always changes. You have to adapt to things, and I'm still trying to adapt to what's happening up here and finding my path at some point. I haven't found it yet, and many times and many days I still feel lost. I often just look at all these YouTube videos of other people that has managed to make a good life out of themselves, but I think that's just my excuse for procrastination in another level than doom scrolling on TikTok. Then I'm just procrastinating on YouTube instead of, because I constantly look at all these videos from other people, and every time I do it I feel inspired, and then I start making a plan, and then from the plan to the startup, it often goes the opposite direction, because between those two I often find resistance, and the resistance is often in fear, how to do it, maybe don't have the finances to actually start it. There's a lot of things that goes into it, and it's difficult to find the right way. And often when I do that, start doing the planning, figure out what's gonna be like next step, I often just ran my head through the wall, because then I find some sort of bump on the way that makes it impossible for me to do it right now, and then I don't do it, and then I'm in the circle again, looking at more videos, trying to get inspired, doing the plan, and then so on. And I think for now I just realized that I need to find a way to break this cycle, because this cycle is just a cycle of procrastination, and instead of using all the time into that, I think it's much better, because if I created as much as I consumed, I would be a lot further right now. So this channel has been changing many times. In the beginning I just wanted to be in the search of simplicity, me talking, being out in nature. I still love cars. I have a big passion about cars, building weird cars, buying weird cars, doing whatever, taking on road trips. I love it. Then I was thinking about changing into more of a car related, but I also know that 6-7 months a year it's minus 30 degrees up here. It is so cold, and you can't really do much car related up here. So I rather just make it into my own kind of digital journal slash digital diary of what I think, and sometimes I just need to get out with some of my thoughts, and if I don't do it to the camera, then where should I put all my thoughts? So I do have my Remarkable, and I write down many of my thoughts on a daily basis, and it really helps me do a lot of things. But I also just know that I need to break this cycle, and I need to start creating much more, because I love my calisthenics, my workout, but I also love my photographer. I love taking pictures and making videos, but often my mind, when it comes up to some idea of what I wanted to create video-wise, I have all these ambitions, and these ambitions are just not they're surreal when it comes to my abilities or my skill set. So often I stop before I even started to start the video. So now I think I'm just gonna post, and I think I'm just gonna create videos, often one take, and just take it as it is, put them up just to get something up, because I have learned so many times now that it's better to do something than nothing at all. So welcome to the digital journal of a professional overthinker that is now in Sweden and both lost, soon to be broke, do not have an income, unemployed, and trying to figure out life, because it's apparently not as easy as it looks.